The Georgia Laws of Life essay contest invites students to select a law of life and to use it as a prompt to write about a core character value such as honesty, generosity, courage, compassion, or perseverance. As a program of Rotary clubs in Georgia, the contest reflects Rotary's emphasis on values, high ethical standards, and service to others. A law of life can be anything. One of the benefits of this contest is that the students can choose quotes that are meaningful to them. After leaving a job that wasn't a good fit, this became one of my favorites. But enough about me. Let's see what students and teachers have to say about the contest.
Let your past struggles serve as your future fortitude.
One good thing about music, when it hits you, you feel no pain.
15 million is the number of children being raised by a single mother. Who knew that my mother and I would become a part of that statistic?
He was viewed by any who didn't know him as though he were not a full person.
In frigid, unforgiving weather, I was kept warm by my joy.
The Georgia Laws of Life essay competition allowed students to kind of see how choices affect their future and have affected their past.
We were walking door to door, singing impromptu Christmas carols.
The Georgia Laws of Life essay contest is a chance for students to tell a story about their life and share that with their classmates and with their teacher.
The essay contest has helped me to develop relationships with students.
Soon, the streets my parents walked down became war zones littered with debris, tank, and landmines.
The value that the contest offers is just truly priceless. I've been able to find out things about my students that I never would have learned.
I had no idea what I was going to do for the remainder of my life without my dad, without my best friend.
You really get a lens into where they're coming from and a better picture of the whole person.
My parents came to this country in hopes of providing a better life for me.
I've been able to see things within them that have allowed me to become a more caring teacher, a more sympathetic, a more empathetic, and a more impactful teacher.
Students realize that they are interesting people of value and that they do have something to share with others.
The Laws of Life essay definitely showed me that when I express myself, good things will happen.
To this day, you know, when I have a struggle or I don't know how I'm going to do something in school, I read my essay again, and you know, it gives me a new sense of courage to keep going.
The Georgia Laws of Life essay competition is character education in action.
The contest gives students confidence in themselves.
When I wrote this essay, I was at Forest Park High School, and now I am a sophomore at Emory University.
I encourage every teacher out there to take part in the Laws of Life essay competition.
Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end.
There was great beauty in his words for those who listened.
There is nothing more beautiful than hope.
This year, we had more than 43,000 essays written and 50 Rotary Club sponsors. Was yours one of them? And now, let's hear more from Georgia's teachers.
Working with the Georgia Laws of Life essay contest has been an amazing experience, and I'm so glad that my students have had the opportunity to do this. With this contest, I've been able to get to know a lot of students and their life and cultural beliefs in a way that I never would have before.
I encourage our students to participate because it's a way for them to tell their story and to get their experience across, so it's a more personal essay than the ones we typically do in high school.
I always encourage my students to think about experiences that they have had in the past that have impacted them and reflect upon them. A law of life that I share is to push your boundaries, step outside of your comfort zone, because you never know what you could learn about yourself.
I'm from Cass High School in White, Georgia. At Cass High School, we've been involved in the Laws of Life essay contest since about 2007. Every child has a story, and the Laws of Life essay contest has enabled our students to tell their story, and it has also empowered them to become better students.
Most of those teachers look like students. Am I right? Not quite convinced? Let's hear from some Rotarians.
As a character education program for high school students, the Georgia Rotary Club's Laws of Life essay contest epitomizes Rotary's vision for community, education, ethics, and literacy. The contest encourages students to slow down from Twitter speed. It helps them internalize their values, tap into their dreams, and share their life lessons. By recognizing and rewarding students of good character, the Laws of Life contest emboldens students to live their best lives.
Over the last 10 years, I've seen a lot of students' lives changed as a result of the Laws of Life essay contest, and I think it's been had a significant impact on Rotarians and teachers as well.
And I became so enamored with a program that really supports young people and our future leaders learning and recognizing the value of ethics, such as integrity, perseverance, compassion, all the attributes we'd like to see in all of our leadership.
But I would encourage every single person out there to get involved, get engaged in Laws of Life. It's a great opportunity that takes you on an adventure.
And I encourage all students, teachers, and to participate in doing that. It's a wonderful program, and I am looking forward to sharing this.
Character education is so important in our state, and Rotary and character education go together hand in glove.
Oops, wrong slide. Ignore me. Participation is twofold. You may choose to sponsor the statewide contest and/or partner with a local school to implement the contest. These are the sponsorship levels. If you partner with a school, it's not the money that's important. State winners receive cash prizes, and school winners receive medallions from the state. These kids want you to celebrate with them and recognize their accomplishments. Present awards at Honors Night. Put their names and photos in local newspapers. Host a banquet. Invite the press. Invite them to read their essays at a Rotary Club meeting. I'm sure you've got other ideas. Well, it's almost time for me to go. I see someone's looking at his watch. But before I do, let's hear this year's state winner read her essay.
Hi, I'm Cindy Huynh. I'm in the 11th grade at Brookwood High School, and this is my Laws of Life essay. The sun filtered through the shaky window panes of the school bus as we rode home. It was sometime back in middle school, a time when I still kept quiet at the lunch tables and stared at my feet as I shuffled through the hallways. There were these two boys who sat in the seat in front of me. They were unapologetically loud and blunt, everything that I wasn't. My friend had just left for her bus stop, so I sat alone, minding my business and shrinking behind a pair of earbuds. "You know what's funny?" sneered one of the boys. "Everyone knows that Asians have no eyes, but you ever notice how tiny their ears are?" I froze. The other boy erupted with a harsh wave of laughter and hastily agreed, the two practically causing the bus to shudder as they clapped each other on the back as if they had just made some profound discovery. I had never talked to these boys before. Looking back, I'm certain that they weren't even aware of my existence. I gingerly paused my music and sank further down the seat, listening to the boys gleefully entertain themselves in a battle to see who could conceive the most amusing stereotype, ridiculous accents, dog-based diets, and the classic slanted eyes. It wasn't anything I hadn't heard before. My instinct at the time was to remain ghostly silent until I could slip past them at my bus stop. There were 2 more stops. I just had to hold my breath for 2 more stops. I knew that the jeers were just a result of shallow ignorance in a bout of humor. This was far from the severity of inherent racism seen in modern systematic oppression. The boys were just joking. It was always just a joke. Of course you get good grades with a last name like yours. I bet dog tastes like chicken. Do you see in widescreen how many fingers am I holding? The seemingly innocuous banter had become so banal that it was almost boring. I had grown up glossing over such petty remarks and, admittingly, even laughing along and echoing them myself. This bus ride was no different. There was just 1 more stop now. The clash of insults had grown impossible not to overhear now, and I was certain that there were other Asian kids on the bus. Is no one going to say anything? Why isn't anyone stopping them? I found myself speculating with frustration. It was then that I discerned my glaring hypocrisy. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented, Elie Wiesel once highlighted. The sole reason that the boys found their egregious taunts acceptable was because no one had ever told them otherwise. In retrospect, their jokes were rooted in the same racist thought that brings about discrimination, and I had unfortunately become desensitized to recognizing it. My meek inaction only fostered the growth of such prejudices. I had permitted the boys to continue their torment, permitting myself to be tormented. I made a decision. The bus screeched and sighed to a stop. My scrawny legs towed me out of my seat and down the aisle to a halt next to the 2 boys. I made a big show of yanking my earbuds out of my apparently tiny ears, so there was no mistaking my intention. The boys fell deadly silent as they took in my obviously Asian appearance. Our confrontation was a stage, and the whole of the front half of the bus was its eager audience. "Sorry, what were you saying? Say that again," I challenged. I had never seen 2 faces flush so quickly, and I could sense the rounded mouths around me agape from dropping jaws. I wish I had pointed out their racism. I wish I had said that their jokes were derogatory, intolerable, and frankly unoriginal, that society had grown numb to these seemingly minor instances. I wish I hadn't remained silent for so long. Yet, that was enough for my pounding heart to handle that day, and I turned on my heel behind a facade of sanctimonious confidence. I was mortified from the weight of stares, but with my victory, I had finally leapt the hurdle of fear keeping me from advocacy.